NBA season is back, guys. I am a very, very happy man. I am so excited that we are back with the NBA season. The best time is when basketball is being played, and I am so excited to bring some NBA content to the channel so we can go through it, cover the games, cover all the exciting moments, my thoughts, my opinions. And so, without further ado, let's get into it. My team, the New York Knicks. If you're asking why the New York Knicks, Carmelo Anthony, J.R. Smith, you get the gist. Versus the Celtics, and the Timberwolves versus the Lakers. Four teams who got themselves into the playoffs, and four teams who have their own story. And we'll kick off with the New York Knicks versus the Boston Celtics. Obviously, we'll cover what we see, and the box score. The Celtics ran away with an absolute domination from beginning to end. The Knicks didn't have a chance at all, if I'm being honest with you. And the question you have to ask yourself is, should we be surprised? Should we really be surprised? We're going to look at some information here quickly, but I just want to take you to something. This is the lead tracker, so it tracks when each team has had a lead. I see like two small blue dots, which represents the New York Knicks. I see a whole lot of domination by the Celtics, and domination is what it was. I mean, to the point where it was embarrassing. I think it was 10 threes in the first quarter. They were easily on pace to break the all-time three-pointer record. If not for a miracle of them missing 13 straight threes, you're looking at someone breaking the record at a ridiculous clip. I mean, we can talk about the Knicks, and we will talk about the Knicks, but let's talk about the Boston Celtics. And there's a lot I want to talk about when it comes to this team. It's a team that has not just got here overnight. Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum can tell you their stories about the player failures and what they've been through. On the other side of that, they have a squad which is the best in basketball. I said it at the beginning of last season, it's the best. Brad Stevens has found his niche, his ability to operate in that front office and deliver quality, absolute quality, to his head coach, Joe Mazzulla, who, to me, I say this in the nicest way, he's a madman, he's a psycho. Joe Mazzulla is the kind of man who needs to be running your basketball team. Meticulous. I would even say he's a little bit of a maverick, someone who has conviction in his playing style, and I'm a big fan of what he's done. I did have doubts about him in his first season because I don't think he recognized when to make changes, or he recognized that there needed to be some adjustments and tweaks to his style, which he did actually make. And it wasn't just, okay, free, we're gonna mix in and get inside. Now it's we're gonna make you pay if you don't defend the 3-point line, and we're also gonna get inside so you can't just defend the 3-point line. Looking into this game entirely, absolute domination as mentioned. 132 points, equaled and tied the 3-point record that was set by the Milwaukee Bucks. A large disparity in terms of rebounds, but a large discrepancy in terms of ball movement. 13 more assists, 4 more steals. And yeah, I mean, from a 3-point percentage, if they did not miss those 12 or 13 threes, you're looking at ridiculous numbers and a ridiculous clip. Jayson Tatum with 37 points, Jaylen Brown with 22, matching Bride as well, who was absolutely on it. I think he was 8 of 10, if I'm not mistaken. We'll go into the more advanced stats. Jericho Sims was on the board with Jaylen Brown as well. Cameron Payne, seeing him with the New York Knicks. I don't think he is with the New York Knicks. I think he's with Boston, isn't he? Seeing Cameron Payne with the New York Knicks is something that I will need to get used to. Jayson Tatum again leading with his assists and also with 1 block, with Jericho Sims also appearing there. So some key considerations while we dive in a little bit deeper. Obviously, points in the paint. New York had more. Boston didn't need to. They were dominating elsewhere. Second chance points was fairly equal. Fast break points, Boston were out and away the dominating team there. As you can see from the shot placement, yeah, all across that 3-point line, getting as many shots as they can, limiting the amount of shots that they're taking in the mid-range, because unless we need to, we don't want to. Let's take advantage of the areas where we know we're good, and we'll play the numbers game, and the numbers game worked for them. And Joe Mazzulla set up his team in a way where, I mean, we'll get to the New York Knicks. We'll do a whole deep dive on them because there's a lot we need to say. But Jayson Tatum comes into this season absolutely firing, 37 points, 10 assists. You're looking at someone who went 14 of 18, and there was big conversations during the Olympics. He should be starting. I was of the opinion that no, he shouldn't be starting. I believe Jayson Tatum is an absolutely amazing player. Has he showed that quality consistently? I don't think so. The level of what he is, this is someone who should be consistently fighting for number one in the league. And I don't think he was. I think he was a step off that. Jaylen Brown winning the finals MVP was a testament to that. Not only for his defensive acumen, but he was there or thereabout scoring wise as well. And so Jayson Tatum, this is what we need throughout the season. You've got the chip now. The confidence is established. You can see in his face. He's calm. He's tranquil. 8 3-pointers. The boy was on smoke. Absolute smoke. I'm super impressed with his output and how he's coming to the season. We need this. If he can continue this, and that's a big ask, to dominate with this efficiency while still delivering 10 assists a night, a steal, a block, 4 rebounds. If he can do this every night, P will be in his future and get his team first in the NBA. Definitely wasn't the best night shooting wise from Jaylen Brown, but again, consistently a threat, and you can't be displeased with his numbers either and his impact on winning. Horford continues to be in the lineup and continues to dominate and offer a way for Boston to get points when it doesn't look like they can. Like, he finds little ways within the paint, outside of the paint, obviously with his 3-point shooting and hitting 60%. If he hits 60% and he's having a decent volume at 5 attempts, yeah, they're going to be in a good position. Derek White again shooting at a great clip. This team has everything defensively, so sound from 1 to 5, can shoot in the inside, can shoot on the outside. Each of them have got a mid-range, complete team. You then look at the bench. You got a Luke Cornett who can stretch out. You got a Peyton Pritchard who can take the ball and has a bit of isolation game to him and can sometimes support running offense. As you can see, this game he had his 4 assists. Sam Hauser, who's a flamethrower. Normally he was shooting a lot at the end of the game and just couldn't find it. Xavier Tillman, who can fill in as a big man. And you have to consider one major thing: where's Porzingis? They did all of this without Porzingis. If Derek White, Drew Holiday, Jayson Tatum, and Jaylen Brown can continue with this output, not many teams are going to beat them. I mean, this was scary, if I'm being honest with you. The New York Knicks obviously come into this with a lot of changes. So Karl Anthony Towns coming in, Randall moving out, with Dante DiVincenzo as well moving to Minnesota. We'll cover them in their beginning games as well. And I'm not sure, as well as losing Isaiah Hartenstein, there's been a lot of change in New York. Quality players nonetheless. I understand the vision, and I'm not saying the vision won't work, but do you have enough? Do you have enough? Because you've lost 3 starters essentially, or 3 quality starters, yes. Randall, Isaiah Hartenstein, Dante DiVincenzo, and you've replaced them with Mikal Bridges and Towns. You've probably got better in terms of quality. In terms of depth, you've suffered. And you look at that bench, and that bench probably isn't enough to sustain consistent production. Jalen Brunson, I would say he didn't struggle, was decent. I think we already spoke about Miles McBride, 8 of 10, 4 or 5 from the 3-point line. I think he's going to have to be big for them, as well as Jericho Sims. The rookies former rookies, I should say, apologies. They've grown up now. These players who are established now will need to pay off for the Knicks if they have any opportunity and any chance. Cameron Payne was out there as well. I mean, you're just going to need more. You've top-loaded your talent, which means you expect more. Karl Anthony Towns getting 12. I should say I'm surprised. I'm not really. He will have these nights. He will also have 34 point nights and 40-point nights and nights where he's 10 or 10 from the 3-point line, whatever ridiculous numbers he will put up. But you're going to get this as well. And that's one of the things you got to live with. Mikal Bridges, interesting one with him. There's been discussions about his shot. It looked different during different periods of the game. Early on, it looked quite fluid. Later on in the game, it looked a bit janky when he was shooting from the 3-point line. I'm not sure if that's a work in progress. But the New York Knicks needed a lot more than what they got. They need to have that out weight in terms of scoring. Jalen Brunson can't be the only one. He can't only be putting up 14 shots as well. The defense was stifling, I think, from Boston as well. The speed that they went at was something that the New York Knicks couldn't contain. And Tibbs is going to have to go back to the drawing board. Are the changes that he made sufficient, and how can he get the best out of each and every player? One thing Tibbs isn't scared about is making changes. He will make a change. If things aren't working, he will make a change. And I'm sure this will be no different. Moving on to our second game of the night, and I watched this live. I'm in the UK, so I was up ridiculous o'clock, but it was worth it to watch the return of the NBA season, and I'm normally up late anyway, let's be honest with you. So this is a game where JJ Reddick was managing his first game for the LA Lakers. Not only that, Bronny was coming in, him and LeBron playing for the first time. Beautiful moments, but I'm happy with what JJ was doing, getting it out of the way, allowing things to move on, and let's get down to basketball. But I also don't think Bronny's as bad as people make out. I think defensively he can be a real asset to that team. But let's see, give him time. His offensive game will increase as well. I've got a lot to talk about here as well. Two teams that I kept a big eye on last season. A lot of change. We won't go into the more focused lens in terms of the changes, because we know Randall moved. We know Dante DiVincenzo moved. Again, we had a game where one team led, and they led for quite a long time, and less dominant than the Celtics. But yeah, I was going to say equally as impressive, no, but very, very impressive for a team who is under their new head coach, and they looked very, very fluid. We'll go into some player stats very quickly, some highlights. Anthony Davis with 36 points. Anthony Edwards with 27. There was a bit of drawing between the two as well, which was interesting to see from the Olympic days. Rudy Gobert with 14 rebounds. Anthony Davis with 16. Julius Randle with 4 assists. D'Angelo Russell with 5. And Rudy Gobert with 1 block. Anthony Davis dominating the stats once again with 3. The Timberwolves run out as losers here. Unfortunate on, I guess, according to them. Lakers shot a horrible percentage 3-point wise, but consistently were getting to the line, getting the points in the paint, which was dominant. It was ridiculously easy, too easy. And yeah, I think getting out, running sets and plays which would leave the defense confused is something that was really, really impressive. Yes, they struggled from the 3-point line, but they got some really easy shots inside, as you can see from this area here. A wide array of their shots coming on the inside. A lot of shots here on the outside weren't great. That's what allowed Minnesota to stay in that game, essentially. We're going to take a look at the box score from a Minnesota side. Again, Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo are the big changes. Rob Dillingham, a rookie, didn't play at all, which was surprising to me. But we shall see what's going to happen in that space. Key thing to talk about, Anthony Edwards, showed out to a degree. Wouldn't let his team just die, because that's what they were looking to do. They were looking to die and crawl under the hole. There would seem to be a lack of, I don't want to be concerned, but not even a lack of interest, I would say, but a lack of intensity throughout the whole of the game from Minnesota. They just didn't seem to be able to take it up a gear the same way they were towards the end of last season, and rightfully deserved their place in the playoffs and took it themselves as far as they could. But apart from Ant, I would say that they probably need to look at what more they can do. Some concern around, how much firepower that they have if Randall isn't going to, produce at a level that is, significant. But again, you're going to have Randall and Gobert there. You're going to have Ant and Conley in the backcourt, and you're going to need Jaden McDaniels to do a little bit more. He started off well attacking the basket, and after that we didn't really see him for the rest of the game. From a Lakers perspective, clear as day, you can see the changes from their side. You're seeing a lot more cuts, you're seeing a lot more plays, you're seeing a lot more dynamism in terms of, you're seeing a lot more dynamic play in what the Lakers are trying to do. Rui Hachimura impressed me significantly. Aggressive, attacking, taking on the responsibility and being that athletic anchor, as well as, you've got LeBron, who's a physical freak. But if you look at Rui as well, he has that ability. I'll leave Anthony Davis till last. I will leave him till last. Austin Reeves kept things ticking, was good on the glass as well. He's a trusted ball handler and facilitator, and it's good to see that not only he can hold the ball, AD can hold the ball, LeBron can hold the ball, and they're trusted as well as D'Lo. D'Lo, awful from 3-point, but again, everyone was, so we'll just call it an off night. But I'm still not sold on D'Lo being what the Lakers need at that position. He showed sparks, he showed quality, but again, not convinced, and that's just my own personal opinion. Bronny coming off the bench, we've spoken about. Dalton Connect with his first game. Jackson Hayes was pretty impressive as well, in kind of down and dirty and doing what needs to be done. That athletic big who can sit beside AD if he ever wants to play the 4 and they want to switch things around. AD, boy was killing it absolutely across the board. Fantastic performance. He has a way about him, and I won't really compare it to like a Bam Adebayo, but they feel the game. And I think JJ said it best. He feels the game. He understands the game. He won't force the game. When he forces the game, and they did that a lot under Darvin Ham, like he's not involved for a couple of plays. We're gonna force him the game. He's gonna put up a shot, miss it. No, he felt more in tune with the game. Everything ran through AD. AD was involved in every action. And this is the AD that we want to see from a defensive standpoint. Some key blocks on Gobert and some of the other Minnesota Timberwolves. And I think AD, if he can continue with his availability last season, playing around 72 games and then continuing it this season with that consistency and with these numbers, yeah, he can put himself in line with some serious hardware. But very impressed with what he did this game. And I think this could be a good omen and sign for the Lakers. It's going to be a long season. It's going to be a difficult season. Have they got enough? Can the likes of Gabe Vincent give them enough? Are we going to see Cam Reddish contribute later in the season? Max Christie, are you going to live up to that contract? There's a lot of question marks as well as they continue. But it's good to see them start off the season with a win. We're going to be covering some more NBA games as and when they happen. We know how busy the NBA schedule is. So we'll be probably covering and doing a roundup later in the week. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, guys. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, guys. As always, it's been EDA Sports. I'll catch you soon. Peace.